but I'm going to ask you these questions, and you're going to be recorded and transcribed with your answers. And so I'm going to make you look ridiculous. It could be at your house or it could be at mine.
Blake Lively had the opportunity when his suit got gutted by the judge and then he withdrew the rest of it. That was an opportunity there for Blake to declare that a giant win and to announce in the media, because I have won this, because this man's false claims against me have been refuted by judge, blah, 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 blah. I just want my life back. I'm going to withdraw my lawsuit. I have been vindicated. I want to get back to my kids. I want to get back to work, blah, 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 right? Something along those lines. She had the opportunity to bow out. I kind of thought that she might do that. Foolish me. Now that she has not done this, this is to me is one of those karma-inducing events where you have two forks in the road or sliding doors moment, and you can choose to do the nicer thing. And given the fact that she tried to destroy this man and multiple people, it would have been the better thing to drop her own suit, knowing that it's frivolous. Or you have the opportunity to double down and to persist in your sin, as the Bible would say, right? And she goes down that road. And to me, what you're doing is you're asking for the universe to pay attention to some special attention to you when you double down in something bad like that. And I think that what we're talking about here is going to just become magnified in the future, that this shady behavior is going to be exposed, and who knows what other shady behavior might be exposed, or who knows what twists and turns this lawsuit or this trial might take. And people need to remember what happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I mean, she was totally exposed on that stand for everything that she is, Yeah,
she doesn't want an Amber Heard moment. She doesn't. She doesn't want to be deposed. And so, I'm to be honest with you, I know people are upset about she got this protective order to do the deposition under the law firm. I don't give a shit. If I'm the attorney doing her deposition, I don't care if I'm going to do it at your office. We could do it at my office. We could do it at the park for all I care. But I'm going to ask you these questions, and you're going to be recorded and transcribed with your answers. And so I'm going to make you look ridiculous. It could be at your house or it could be at mine. Or a neutral location. You want to do it at your house, we'll do it at yours. Fine. And that's what they're doing. And the other thing is she doesn't have the ability to just unilaterally drop her lawsuit at this point. And what I understand about Baldoni is he wants to clear his name. There's no chance.
I'm sorry. What do you mean about that? She can't drop her.
So she has brought that. Baldoni has been defending against this lawsuit since December, right? He's incurred attorney fees and cost on that. So in civil court, if you want to dismiss the lawsuit, you have to mutually just agree to just go away.
Oh, really?
Right? If one party wants to say, I want my attorney fees and costs. That's what's going to happen. So Baldoni could just basically say, no, I've been litigating this for months now, and now you're just going to bow like hell you are. I want my attorney fees and costs. And so it's just not that simple. If they dismiss the lawsuit now, it's going to be a mutually agreeable thing under terms that they both agree upon. And what I'm hearing from the Baldoni camp is that it's going to require exoneration of him somehow. What's the likelihood that she's going to just volunteer? Yeah, I was just, I was just kidding about the sexual harassment stuff. Actually, he's completely innocent. She's never going to say that. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're hearing through the grapevine that they are committed to this. I had been concerned that perhaps they were feeling demoralized over in that camp too. I wondered if Steve Sarowitz and Baldoni had been prepared psychologically enough by Friedman for this getting dismissed and for the way things would go. And I was worried that maybe they were, to a degree, kind of hunkered down there. But if that's the attitude that they have, that's great. And I think, again, that we're only halfway through this story. And what I reminded my channel, even though I was irritated with Friedman about the way this was handled PR-wise and down about the inevitable dismissal, at the same time, I reminded my audience that this point is not nearly the low point that Johnny Depp experienced when he got that verdict in the UK trial, which was so ridiculous. That was a judge there who was definitely shady in many respects, but I won't go into that. But when he got that verdict and you had all these headlines, Johnny Depp confirmed as a wife beater, it was so devastating to people who had been following this and rooting for him. And I remember Amber Heard was elated, and this is something that came out in the most recent book actually about this whole saga, was that when Johnny Depp was sitting around with some friends and with his lawyers when the verdict came in, and when it came in, he turned to his good friend, his assistant, and said, well, I guess you can just make a t-shirt that says Johnny Depp is a wife beater and I'll wear it around. You know, it was basically like that was, he was so destroyed. He thought he was over. Right.
Yeah.
And so what I want to remind people is think of that moment and then think of where he ended up, with Amber Heard being, for most people, totally discredited and stuff. So I like what you're saying here. There's still a trial. This trial is going to hash things out. It's going to hold Blake to account. It's going to make things difficult for her, and she's going to have to account for herself and for her allegations to a jury of her peers, not a judge.
Exactly. That's the important part. It's not going to be judged by it's not going to be judged by Lyman.
Right.
It's going to be judged by a jury of his peers that are not lawyers, attorneys, or whatever. So yeah, 100%. I'm on board with that.
What do you think, just briefly, what do you think about these creators, YouTube creators? Speak on that. No, you did not receive a subpoena. I did not.
No. It seems like the people that received subpoenas were not lawyers.
First of all,
who were non-lawyer content creators, big and small. What I think that was, because I don't think that they legitimately or reasonably thought that they were going to extract any useful information for their lawsuit. I really think it was a diversionary tactic to get people to stop talking about her upcoming deposition. Because it's so easily quashable. There's nothing relevant. They're literally asking for bank records of YouTubers that have like 33 subscribers, and get like 4 views on their videos. And obviously, because Wayfair paid them off to like spread the word. I'm sure they did. Come on, you don't really believe that, do you? That's what they're looking for. And so I can't believe that she really believes that. I can't believe she believes that it really extends to these random and anonymous.
So YouTubers. You think it's a distraction? Yeah, I got you.
I 100% think it is basically a shakedown. Stop talking bad about my client. We will see you. Which, to be fair, it's kind of had that effect because people have started talking more about the subpoenas.
The thing with covering this stuff too, having covered a lot of these cases and not just covering them, but in my case at least advocating a particular side, is that it goes in cycles and waves, and like sometimes I'll drop out, sometimes I'll get kind of, like I said earlier, I'll get a little demoralized or a little just annoyed or tired or whatever, and so drop out for a week or 2 or 3 and whenever, and you cycle back into it. And I think that maybe some people are pulling back a bit just to kind of say, wait a minute, what's going on? I need to get a lawyer, because that's the thing that sucks about this too, is it is a diversion, but also it does cause real world anxiety. And now you have people who are not used to dealing with this, they're this sort of hit them hard, social media and legal strategies that are being employed here. And they've gotten a subpoena, and we know it's not really a big deal, but like at the same time, like now they're being told by Google if they don't want information given out, they have to write motions.
Just say what, if I was served with a subpoena like that, I would immediately file a demand letter. You will retract your subpoena, or I'm going to go for sanctions, attorney fees, and costs. Because you and I both know that this subpoena is bullshit. I ain't giving you jack. Tell me then, which is why I'm assuming that's why they haven't sent this to other attorneys, because so what you're saying,
I'm sorry to be dense here. You're saying that attorneys like you will know the best way to respond to this, and they don't.
No, I subpoena people all the time. I didn't mean to call you bro. I was like,
yeah, it's fine.
I was like, I deal with subpoenas all the time. When I get a subpoena, I say, get the fuck out of here. I'm giving you this. I ain't giving you jack. It's like, you're going to withdraw the subpoena, or I'm going to do this, which is exactly how to respond. But I understand that content creators that are not lawyers, that don't deal with subpoenas, they get something like this, like, oh my God. And I get anxiety. I really do. I've talked to many of them. And I tell them, I really wish you could just live in my brain for the next 2 months and just see how unimpressed I am.
Right.
How stupid it is. Like, it's not going anywhere.
And
But
that's not, by the way, that's not us at all being condescending toward
no.
content creators or anything like that. It's just you as a lawyer and me as someone who's been doing this kind of hard hitting, exposing Me Too hoaxes stuff for 5 years. I've gotten legal threats and I've gotten, cease and desist letters. When I get this stuff, I just make fun of it. I make content out of it. Like,
Right.
I got a cease and desist letter with the Marilyn Manson stuff, and he even gave me the attorney included a form for me to sign and get back to him saying I was never going to do anything again like that. I'm sorry, Daddy, sort of thing. And so I just drew some pictures on it and then put it up on my YouTube and made fun of it. Right. But I wonder, do you have any ideas about where things are going next? Do you think that Friedman's going to try to get a lot of this evidence that was illegally obtained through the Van Shams subpoena? He's going to try to get that kicked?
Well, I think that he's going to file a motion addressing the Van Sham thing, whether that's a request to amend his complaint to include a cause of action for abuse of process, or whether it's just a motion to make inadmissible anything obtained from the subpoena. I don't know. He's going to have to decide that based on whatever he gets back. But I honestly think, I don't think that Blake Lively wants to actually be subpoenaed. I think that there's a small chance that the entire thing gets settled before she has to give her deposition. And if it doesn't, then, who knows? But I think, the depositions are supposed to happen by I think they said September 1st or something like that.
Okay.
Those are coming. And we're gearing up for trial, I guess, now in 6 months. Gosh, time just flies, doesn't it? So, yeah, we're gearing up for a trial. And I honestly don't think this is ever going to go to a trial. I just don't think that there is.
I'm with you on that. Actually, I think the idea of a trial, as much as I would like to see one, I think the idea that is going to ultimately be too daunting, perhaps for both parties. And I'm not saying that Justin Baldoni has any dark secrets or any wrongdoing that's going to be exposed, but it's just Those things are just. I mean, you can just see it when you observe the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. Those things are just torture on both sides. Yeah. But I agree with you on that. But then again, the Depp versus Heard thing did. So we will see. And again, maybe it depends on whether or not Justin Baldoni's team can get any concessions, I guess, in terms of PR. If you are the person taking the deposition, we assume that it's talking to Blake Lively, questioning her. We assume it's going to be Friedman, right? Yeah. Yes. What are you trying to do in that deposition? I mean, I understand generally catch people in lies or whatever, but is there anything on your mind specifically that you're going for, or that you're trying to expose? You're trying to get her to say, or?
Yeah. I look, I need you to walk me step by step about your sexual harassment complaints. Okay. So, all right. You're saying that he took liberties in an unscripted moment in the kissing scene or whatever. Isn't it true though, that there was you guys spent days or maybe months scripting this thing? They offered you an intimacy coordinator and you refused it. What was that about? Isn't it true that you guys were friendly up until a certain point, and then this infamous text message comes out about the no teeth thing, and then all of a sudden, what was that about? It's okay, so what did he do when he looked you in the eye when you were pumping? Isn't it true that you invited him in there? Did he make a face? Did he make a gesture? Did he make some kind of sexual innuendo? What happened? And it made you uncomfortable. Why would you invite him in there if you were going to be uncomfortable? There's going to be a lot of questions like that. Just making her seem so stupid. She's gonna hate it. She's probably going to lose her shit a couple times.
She's going to do what?
She's going to lose her shit a couple times.
Well, so really, what you're trying to do if you're Friedman, in addition to catching people in lies or whatever, is you're trying to confront them with their own idiocy that they put out there, basically, right?
Yeah, just how illogical their entire premise is about the sexual harassment thing. He was unreasonable to you. You're saying he was but you guys are sharing pictures of each other's children and being friendly, and he keeps on telling you that you're so this great creator or this great talent or whatever, and and your friends But so was he acting inappropriate then? At what point did you feel inappropriate enough where you just didn't want to be friends with him? Explain yourself, And I think when you have somebody that has a weak case like that, you just take them step by step. Build the foundation for me, brick by brick. How did you feel uncomfortable? What did he do? What was it about the thing that made you feel uncomfortable, because the thing about these sexual harassment complaints, it's not a subjective standard. It has to be such that a reasonable person would agree that that was egregious behavior. And so all they have to really do is make her look ridiculous. And I think that's what the focus of her deposition is going to be, which she doesn't want. In much the same way, the Amber Heard moment is like, oh, I did not punch you. I slapped you.
Right.
Help me with the baby.
Right. Oh, exactly. And also the thing is, like with the Amber Heard deposition, people saw her demeanor in the trial was much more meek, but when in the deposition, I think it really grinded on her, hours and hours of tough questioning, because you saw the true bitch underneath come through, and and she couldn't help herself at times. She was rolling her eyes. She was yawning. She was making all these sort of like cutting expressions with her face and stuff. And so knowing Blake Lively, as I think we do, it'll be interesting to see how she bears up, even like emotionally, psychologically, under the pressure of that. It may be breakdowns in terms of crying, or it may be breakdowns in terms of getting pretty heated. Anyway, anything else you want to add? This has been great. Thank you so much.
No, I know you said we've been going for 53 minutes. You said, hey, look, I only like 30-minute conversations. To be honest, you did this whole 7-hour live stream. You had like 7 or 8 different guests. I don't know how you got the energy for that. I'm exhausted after one. I'm literally exhausted after one.
So I can get psyched up for something, and and view it like a marathon. And I don't know. I just hadn't done a live stream in a while, and what happened was I just had so many great people who I had asked, "Hey, you want to do something Friday?" And so many people committed, or whenever that was, and so many people committed, and I was like, "Well, I guess we'll just fill up the schedule." But anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Check out Omar Serrato, the Tilted Lawyer, right? And I'll include a link below, and we will check back with you again. I really enjoyed this. And also, if you want to see that 6-hour live stream, I had a lot of great guests. I'll link to that. And as always, appreciate your support. Tip jar below as well. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.